Hi guys, welcome to this episode where we talk about trend lines. So it's actually quite a short one. We will just briefly touch on what is trend lines and how to use them lah. Okay, then we will go over to the practical side of looking at the chart. Okay, so what are trend lines? Basically it's just a line. Okay, so there is an uptrend and also a downtrend. So valid trend line is when a line it touches at least 3 points. Okay, and most of the time these points will be a wick lah. Okay, the shadow of the wick of the candle, the we call it like the tail of the candle lah. Okay, but it can also be touching on the body. So to use a trend line and trade, once the stock violates the trend line, then it is recommended to sell at least half of your portion lah. Okay, and the balance will be sold once it hits and violates your initial stop loss. So once it kind of like breaks one trend, the trend line, then it's recommended for you to start considering to protect your capital. Okay, it's all about risk management. Okay, and if you follow the trend line, your stop loss can be raised according to the stock and also the rising trend line. Okay, same goes with if let's say you are shorting the stock and you are focusing on a downtrend line. Okay, so mainly there are two types of trend lines. One is an uptrend and one is a downtrend. Okay, so to draw a trend line is actually very simple. Okay, for an uptrend, you just need to connect the lows of the candles in a straight line, and a reliable trend line must at least hit the candle lows at least 3 times. Okay, like what I just mentioned previously. And any lesser than that, it may not be so reliable lah. Okay, that means actually the trend hasn't really developed yet. Okay, so for a downtrend line, similar to what an uptrend line is, you just need to touch the highs of the candles for at least 3 times. Okay, so with that, let's go over to the chart and then we will have a look at it. Okay, so coming over to the chart, let's just have a few examples lah. Okay, of how to draw a trend line, how to see a trend line. Okay, PTRB not so suitable, but if you want to look at it in a very long term wise, then you can actually draw. This is actually the low. Okay, these lows are the same, so I'll just take this one. Okay, and you can draw it over here lah. Okay, this is not really a valid one because it hasn't touched 3 times. Okay, but there, to me, PTRB looks more sideways lah. It's a bit difficult for you to actually draw a trend from here. Okay, I think one hot stock today is this one, PNB Tech. So this was actually a very long sideways kind of trend lah. Okay, yeah, sideways here, then came up here, attempted to break out, then break down back. If you look at it, this is also sideways lah. Okay, nothing much to see. Let's think. Let's see what was hot in Bursa today. Let's try and draw a trend line over here. No, I don't think you will get that also. I think this one can. Okay, so if you have a look at Harta, I think this one more suitable to draw a downtrend line, because I don't really think it's fully uptrend yet. I think it's kind of bottoming and it's attempting to go higher lah. Okay, there's still quite a lot of supply over here. You can see 2.22, there's a lot of sellers lah. Okay, hit 2 times and then it came down back. Okay, so if you actually look at the trend line over here, this is like the downtrend line. You can actually see it hit here twice. Okay, if you want to take it as once also can because it's quite near, and then hit again here and hit again here. So this downtrend line is pretty much valid lah. Okay, it has hit for 3 times. Okay, then subsequently if we look at the uptrend line here, here connect until here, it almost hit lah. Okay, so actually if you pull it up a bit here, it looks quite valid because most of these are actually just wicks. Okay, but you can always change a trend line. Okay, but just remember the rule of thumb, trend lines can only go broader, not steeper. Okay, so if let's say you draw a trend line like this, okay, let's say for example you have already drawn a trend line like this. Okay, initially you already draw something like this, and then you see, let's say there's another candle here lah. Okay, then you confirm this is a trend line, and all of a sudden this one reaches about here. Okay, so you are actually not supposed to pull it down to match what you have just seen. You are supposed to just leave it as such. That means it hasn't attempted to challenge back that downtrend line. Okay, but you can make it broader in the sense that if let's say initially you put it like this, okay, and then suddenly now you see something is going higher, then you can just put it higher. You can actually move it higher lah. Okay, how you actually consider this is because if you really look at it without the trend line, you can actually see that the stock is still forming lower highs, okay, where else here is forming higher lows. So it's actually a good sign lah. Okay, you can just draw a trend line here, then you will see what is happening lah. Okay, there are chances that it will break. Okay, it will break up. Okay, we go and see glove during the glory days. Okay, something like this, you actually can draw a trend line as well. Okay, you can actually see something like this. Okay, if you take from this uptrend, it's actually quite straight lah. Okay, and if let's say based on what the PowerPoint notes mention, when it breaks the trend line is you're supposed to sell half first lah. Okay, so if let's say you were in Harta, okay, and then it pulled back until like this, okay, and then when it breaks down here, it is recommended to sell half first lah. Okay, and if you did, then you won't be bleeding today lah. Okay, if it breaks your support, then most likely it's gone lah. Okay, so in the market, it's very important for capital management. Okay, you need to manage your risk. Okay, let's see what other stocks we can use. Let's just not use gloves. I think this one also. This is also not bad. Yeah. Okay, actually you can see that this is a clear uptrend now. Okay, it's slowly going higher, and it actually touched the trend line 3 times, and after that it didn't touch again, and it has been going higher since. So it actually touched the trend line 3 times, so it's a valid trend line, and it also moved a bit higher parabolically at this zone lah. Okay, it was quite sharp, so you can see that this uptrend line is working lah. Okay, let's see what else. This is actually a bit of indecision because you are creating. No lah, it's actually down lah. Okay, it's actually down. But the it's not really moving in an exact channel. It's moving in more of like this box lah. Okay. But today you can see it's already challenging the previous high. It has to be able to break this one before it can move higher. Okay, so all stocks that move higher have to create higher lows and higher highs eventually. It is a must for you to have an uptrend. Okay, so that's what it is. We just go for one last one. I have one. Wait. Actually, I have two. Genting Malaysia. Okay, this one is a very very long downtrend. Okay, you can actually see we don't even need to take from the highest. We just take from about here, which is October 2021, and you can see this downtrend line is very valid, really valid, because it has challenged so many times and has not been able to break it. Okay, it has challenged like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, about 10 times. Okay, and it has not been able to break this downtrend line. Okay, this is a valid downtrend line now. Okay, I think another one is this. Okay, sometimes you can even see the downtrend line valid on a weekly chart, which means it's very strong lah. Okay, just remember, the longer your time frame is means the stronger the data is. Okay, Kicksing's downtrend is actually from what, 2013. Okay, you can actually take the highest from here. Okay, and you can just pull it down. Okay, if not, like what I did, because I use here, so I pull it over, then you will see this. Otherwise you can use a lower one, and then it hits here. So this downtrend is very strong, but there is no exact spot like Gen M. Okay, so if you really want to compare, this one is quite obvious also. Okay, this is obviously a stage 1, and then it's going higher lah. Okay, it may be in a stage 2. So that's about trend lines. How you want to use them is actually quite simple. For an uptrend, you just connect the higher lows Whereas for a downtrend, you just connect the lower highs, okay, and you'll be able to see whether the stock is moving up or not, okay. So that will be all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something, okay. That's all. Thank you. Bye bye.
If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.